What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. In this video, obviously not a video that I want to make. I'm going to talk about what's going on with Eigenlayer, which I actually considered for the longest time to be something of a pillar to look forward to, an airdrop that would define this cycle, and everything that they've done so far is basically the exact opposite of what we want. And leaving in the wake of the bodies left from Renzo Protocol, from Starknet, from Metis, from so many other airdrop campaigns that have really screwed up big time, have basically turned their back on the people who helped them get all their TVL, or at least get them started. I hope Eigenlayer, starts to see or starts to recognize what they've done and hopefully changes their approach. Now, they have changed a bit of what's going on. They've changed it as a result of some community feedback. But you know what? Let's get into the video because I think it's definitely worth a discussion. I don't want this to be another rant video. I just want to present the facts, let you guys know exactly what's going on. So let's get into it. But just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Please do your own research. Don't just listen to me. Now, as a reminder, we've got 2 days left. So if you want to get into the Web3 Secret Society, we still have the discounted rate of $20 a month that you can grandfather basically for a lifetime or however long you want. And in this group, we actually help you qualify for airdrops, maybe not Eigenlayer or maybe not as much Eigenlayer as we would have hoped, making sure that you get back the time that you need to spend with your family or doing other things, because the idea behind crypto is not to spend all day behind a computer. And when you are in crypto, learning exactly what you're doing and getting more than just airdrop opportunities will teach you pretty much everything. Now, what is very interesting here is when we look at Renzo, this was a huge, big mistake that happened, about 5 days ago, last Wednesday. Tons of updates when they got depegged. And I came on and made a video and I use Eigenlayers. You know what? All this going on, I'm just looking forward to Eigenlayer. And then today we were hit with a 1-2 punch. Basically, Eigenlayer basically didn't do that much better. Now, for those of you who don't remember, Eigenlayer is a protocol that basically secures the Ethereum network. And by us providing our funds in the form of Ethereum or, other liquid restaking tokens like, EtherFi Ethereum, Renzo Ethereum, Easy ETH, or Lido Ethereum, whatever it may be, and providing them into this platform, we helped do our part to secure the network. And obviously, it comes at a massive inconvenience to us because we lose our liquidity. We paid fees if you're on the Ethereum mainnet. So depending on when you started, you may have paid quite a bit of dollars, especially in December and January. But we all thought it would be worth it because eventually we said, hey, Eigenlayer would have a token. Now, the first thing I want to call out here is we're not surprised there's a token. Let's just be straight up here. I always tell you guys, these companies, these protocols, they are not altruistic. They are doing these things because they want to tokenize, they want to do a value raise, and they want to basically incentivize and pay themselves. But what has been happening, and we've seen this consistently, is that more and more the community is getting less of that pie. So they weren't getting a big piece from the beginning, but VCs are basically ensuring that community gets such a small amount, and that amount continues to decrease over time. It can definitely feel a bit disheartening, especially for those who don't have a ton of money to put in the space. In fact, the best time that people were able to actually get or capitalize on these airdrops was when they weren't as prevalent. So if you think about Jito, Sol, or others, you got the most because people weren't focused on it. And now people are spending their livelihoods airdrop farming, which is a nice thing to do, but not the only thing to do. And in this case, they launched their EIGEN token, which is basically a season 1 stake drop. Very important to say stake drop because it's not related to anything else but the amount of Eigenlayer token you provided to the network. Now, they had a full announcement. In this case, you click on this, you get to see a video. More importantly, they have a white paper. Honestly, who's going to read this? I mean, you can if you really want to. I started reading it and then realized, you know what? I'm going to send this to ChatGPT to make me a summary, which is what I'll do after this video. But if you just want to know a bit of the quick highlights, what has happened here, and we'll start with sort of the update from Airdrop 1, which is a good summary. They announced their airdrop today. Their stake drop season 1 will be 5% of the initial Eigenlayer supply, and it goes to the restakers. That is what comes out of the white paper. You can check your eligibility on this website, claims.eigenfoundation.org. You don't need a signature because this is just to see what your allocation is. Unfortunately, when you go here, I'm going to show you this in a second, you will probably find out that if you might be in a country where this is not available. And we're going to talk about why that's important in a second. Now, the snapshot was taken on March 15th, and coincidentally, if we look at EtherFi, I wonder where I can find this, but basically EtherFi's season 2 started. It literally started on March 15th. So maybe I can find this over here. Season 2 started March 15th. And I don't want to say they're new because EtherFi has been pretty much on the up and up. But can you imagine like having this sort of timed out to match exactly with Eigenlayer? That would be pretty, I mean, it's pretty much a very, very unique coincidence, okay? Now, there are 2 phases in season 1. Basically, we're going to find out today what our allocation is if you staked with Eigenlayer directly or you staked with liquid staking token holders. So this would be Renzo, this would be Swell, this would be EtherFi, but you had to do it directly. Now, if you instead had gone to like something like Pendle, right, and you basically went there, and this is after community feedback as well, they are going to give you your allocation later. We won't know that right now because that's phase 2, but we should be able to claim that as part of season 1. Now, the claim window opens May 10th, which will be interesting because I wonder what time the phase 2 snapshot or allocation gets announced. But we'll find that out very soon. The Eigen seasons are still coming because, one of the things we talked about is they don't want people to just take their Ethereum out. They're like, wait. There's more. We'll give you even more rewards. Just keep it here because the strength of their protocol requires there to be a carrot for people to keep this in. So I would say here for all of you guys, there is an opportunity. And, I think a lot of people will either leave to farm other things, because you know what, there's better uses for the Ethereum, and we are seeing a lot of those things pop up, which is why it's so important to not just farm directly with these protocols. If you farm directly with Eigenlayer, you probably got the least out of anyone, right? Now, I'll talk a bit about that in a second as well. I'm not going to go through all of this because it's whatever. This is why, like for me right now, I still have about 20 Ethereum sitting on, within Pendle and within EtherFi and Eigenlayer. And the idea here is I'm still farming these points. For me, EtherFi has actually done very well. EtherFi, their season 1 airdrop was fantastic. Season 2, I have no reason to believe they're going to sort of change the game here. So for me, I will continue to farm this. Once the EtherFi airdrop has ended, maybe I'll reconsider something else. As you guys know, I talked about mitosis a couple days ago. I'll make a video tomorrow night covering mitosis and sort of what I plan to do because Epoch, the second Epoch has been confirmed for Friday. We don't know the time. It was done in Morse code, so many people would have missed it. I was told this by some moderators. It wasn't confirmed. So I was like, hey, last video I said, I can't tell you guys because we're not really sure, but it's been confirmed for Friday. So mitosis, another opportunity, and it farms EtherFi and Eigenlayer to a lesser extent. So what? I really want these EtherFi tokens. Remember, as people leave, that'll be an opportunity for you guys as well because the equilibrium always shifts. As people leave, then all of a sudden our allocations get bigger and it's sort of more beneficial. Now, if we go back to Eigenlayer and just look at this update, they made some clarifications about a couple hours ago. So phase 2 allocations are 10%, which is about 7.8 million Eigen tokens. And it comes from Pendle and other unresolved DeFi contracts. So they're not penalized by any means. And the allocation for season 1, phase 2 is not predetermined, but basically it's just a reflection of the allocation of what's going on. So this is not a problem. Remember, all of this makes together 5%, 84 million tokens. You guys already know what I'll be doing with my tokens. Unfortunately, we're The other unique piece of this is we're unable to sell. So they're, to prevent the sale of tokens, they're actually not allowing it, at least from those who get it airdropped. I think the conventional belief is you'll be able to sell it if you receive it elsewhere, or like I think the VCs may get to unlock it around the same time we do. I'm not really sure. I think that is something that is still sort of going to happen, but we're going to sort of capture the guidance here and give you guys the information as it comes out. Obviously, it's a little frustrating because a lot of us tied up a ton of liquidity. Like for the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I've had at least 20 ETH stuck in these protocols, trying to earn, like, I get minimal rewards from like Pendle or, from the yield from Ethereum or whatever, but like the Ethereum like value, like, I've heard some people saying, oh, why are you coping? Like, honestly, you got to hold it and Ethereum went up. Yeah, well, that would have happened regardless, but I took on some risk. I took on additional risk by staking with EtherFi, which, hopefully that stays good. And then with Pendle, which adds additional risk. So all of a sudden, I'm taking the risk on for what? For pennies? No thanks. So for Eigenlayer, what EtherFi did was they did make a good kind of summary, which is you'll get it May 10th. LRT users are getting the Eigenlayer stake drop, and up to the March 15th snapshot, which is what's applying for phase 1 and phase 2, they're getting 100% of expected tokens. EtherFi is getting 3 million tokens to distribute to users who use Pendle and other complex DeFi to stake. And this is going to show when phase 2 amounts are eligible or visible. And basically, it's just talking about when you see the allocation, and there will be a season 2 and all of that. Apparently, either fan NFT holders will also get, some Eigenlayer points as well, or Eigenlayer tokens. So that is very interesting. Ideally, I think it says here, Pendle users get their allocation revealed in phase 2. May 6th is when we should find out more details. Okay. Now, there are some people here who obviously, whenever you do these things or whenever things happen, and I promise you, guys, go check the comments later. We're going to see some losers post in here that, oh my God, why are you crying? Blah, blah, blah. Like anytime you give any feedback, positive or negative, you get these extreme jerks who literally have nothing better to do, come in here, comment, know nothing. And basically in this case, I expect to see the same thing. So hey, if you want to come at me, come at me. I don't care. I'm not here to shill Eigenlayer. I'm not here to protect any protocol. I'm here to talk about what I think is right. And honestly, like, me doing that has gotten me into trouble with some protocols. As you guys know, I called out Metis a couple of times. They blocked me. I don't care. The reality is, I'm not going to be like the other influencers who just come here and pretend like everything's great. They can screw over as many people as they want. And I'm going to be like, no, this is fantastic. Keep doing it. Hey, can you give me a sponsored video? Can you give me some extra things and whatever? That's what most of these influencers want. So they don't have your back, right? And in this case, this one, I'd say this individual basically said, well, he probably sort of skimmed over the announcement, overreacted, and is apologizing. We'll talk a bit about what's going on after. I got no problem in holding Eigenlayer's foot to the fire. Obviously, who am I? I'm just a guy on YouTube, but I took the popular meme from Spider-Man, the Eigenlayer multiplier 1x, and he puts on the glasses and it's 0x, you know what I mean? And basically the first person responded here and said this, bro, read the FAQ. Season 1 is 2 phases. I'm like, yeah, I'm aware. But you know what? There is a significant disadvantage if we don't get the tokens at the same time, because as you guys know, tokens tend to trend towards 0. A lot of this stuff is vaporware. You guys look at Wormhole, look at Parcel. We're going to talk about some of these other tokens later tonight. This stuff, like, unless there's a use case, they tend to go down. And for me, I'm like, I'm aware of this. But you know what? And while that's a joke, what's not a joke is Eigenlayer decided to take everyone's money without any sort of gate mechanism. And now they're imposing one after the fact that now it's time to reward people. And that's probably the part that, like, out of everything, is the thing that I think is unbelievable. They already knew. They knew a long time ago that this was what they were going to do. Why are they all of a sudden so strict? Oh my God, we're banning VPNs. We're not allowing this. But why wouldn't you do this as well when people try to go to Eigenlayer to deposit? Why was that? This is actually the reason why I'm so wary of farming Mode. People ask me all the time. Mode has not held back. They've not had any secrets around banning, or not banning VPNs, but basically ensuring you need a VPN to access their airdrop from Canada. You know what I'm saying? This is literally the way it is. You know what I'm saying? This is literally the way it is. So guys, you guys got to understand that. Like, that's just a reality. Like, whenever I see like KYC, VPN and stuff, I get anxious. But I'd rather them tell me up front so I can make that decision versus you saying, hey, yeah, provide me $100,000, give me all this stuff, and then nothing. You know what I'm saying? And there are some people who are working on trying to find ways to get around this restriction. What I will say here, and guys, please use common sense. If you figured out a way, do not post it on Twitter. Do not, like, go tell people in Discord, do not post it in a place where Eigenlayer can find out and patch it, because the goal here is to make it live on May 10th, not to have it available and tell people ahead of time so they can work out a fix to get this, so that way people can't get their tokens. And if you're wondering, well, why does Eigenlayer care if we don't get tokens? Because those tokens go back in the pool if they aren't claimed, and there's only 120 days for claiming. So if you're unable to claim, well, somebody else will benefit. I'm not sure, I can't remember if it goes just back to the people who claimed from the community for staking, or is it everybody else? But we also know that there are some big whales who would benefit, who obviously probably was given the insight. Hey, wait a second, go to the UK or something if you want to claim. So if you do have a big allocation, that might be something to consider. Consider taking a vacation 120 days after May 10th. Make sure you check the white paper or the terms of service to sort of go in here. And I think it's so important to do that. And guys, I get the feeling, right? I hear people saying, you're glad to skip Eigenlayer. It sucks because, I mean, the reality is this should have been one of the biggest airdrops, right? And I wouldn't say everyone's going to get their ETH out, because there are some opportunities, right? If people are taking their ETH out, great. I think it's just doing it differently. I will not stake with Eigenlayer directly anymore. I'm going to put it in mitosis, farm mitosis points. I'm going to move some things around. I don't want the exposure with certain things, so I will get rid of Kelp DAO. I'll go into Zircuit and mitosis, and Pendle. Honestly, like, Pendle's okay, but like, I need more than just like a 2x to sort of stay in there from now on. You know what I'm saying? You just unstaked. I'm sorry to hear that. Mark, I'm glad to hear that you're here. I mean, I'm not paid by anybody. That's what you guys got to realize. And I'm going to show you something. No YouTuber will show you this thing, but I'm going to show you this because you're probably curious and whatever. So let me just do this here. Tell me which YouTuber shows you this. Ask them. So you guys see how many videos I make? I got $785. This includes YouTube memberships. So you tell me what exactly am I getting paid per month for this? Just to be clear, let's just be honest here, okay? So I'm putting it all on the table. You guys already know I don't do paid shills or anything like that, okay? I refuse them every time. I get $1,000 offer plus all the time. Say no thanks. Biggest airdrop to the biggest flop. That's correct. So I actually went on here and I tried to claim mine, right? So I'm like, oh, you can't do it? Great. So I went over here and basically you click the terms of service. What? Phantom. Oh, no, this is fine. Okay. So we'll just go here, and interesting, the Phantom is now warning me too. So basically, I'm gonna put in Canada here. So you can see here, now all of a sudden they care about the countries. So here's all the countries that you cannot go, prohibited jurisdictions, right? So Canada's here, United States is here, right? Look how many countries. Like, you might as well just said you might as well just name the countries that you were gonna allow people. You're gonna allow people to get it from. You know what I'm saying? It'd probably be a lot less time. But basically, thanks to somebody in our Discord who's not in one of those restricted countries, they checked for me. I got 75 Eigen tokens. The current, if at an FDV of like $15 billion, Eigen tokens like $7 each. It's like $500. Keep in mind, I put in most of my Ethereum in after season 2 or for season 2 of EtherFi. So none of that's captured here either. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. One thing I will say here is like, you guys can see like on Arbitrum, I've gotten like, a bunch of ETH here. I got a bunch of ETH on Ethereum. I've got a bunch of ETH directly with Eigenlayer. It is just unreal, like how bad this has gone. One thing I will call out here, and guys, I was very disappointed by this. Not surprised. Bankless had Eigenlayer come on, and all they did was talk about good things. It got to the point, if you watch the live stream or you watch the replay, right? Because the live stream's over, they muted the chat. They basically made it so no one could talk because people were pissed. And they were obviously, these guys are shills. Like, I like the Bankless people normally, but this is the same thing with Starknet. They just take the side of their guests because the reality is they don't care. You guys would be foolish if you think they care about people. They only care about better deals. They only care about all of those other things. None of these influencers care or will stand on morals. They won't do it. These guys are just like everybody else. They will look out for themselves. They'll look out for the money. Money speaks. And what I'm disappointed in is, I'm actually a member of Bankless, and I was very disappointed to see them do this again and again and again and pretend once again like, oh, doesn't matter what they do. This is a fantastic news. It's incredible, whatever. It's one thing if protocols are doing it. I get why ETHFI is not calling out Eigenlayer. I thought it was funny that Jumper Exchange called out Eigenlayer, but they have nothing to lose, right? But if you look at like ETHFI, of course they're not going to call them out. I don't expect them to. You know what I'm saying? And let's just be straight up here. Like, the Jumper guy does not miss what I was hoping versus what I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy, whoever's doing their Twitter is great. So make sure you give him a follow. I think that's pretty awesome. CC2 Ventures, basically did capture this a bit. It says it's currently trading at 10 pre-market, low liquidity. He's been staking 2.8 ETH since end of August. So this is a big deal because he's had way more time on there doing the bear market. Yeah, obviously ETH appreciated 91% in price. We can't talk about this because most of us would have had ETH anyways. Now, the one thing I do want to highlight here, which I did forget, so I'm glad I saw this right now. There will be other airdrops that will care about your Eigenlayer points. Now, we don't know if they will care about Eigenlayer points or Eigen token. In the past, they cared about Eigenlayer points because we did not have Eigen token. But now that we're going to have the Eigen token, our projects like Altlayer in the future, these new projects coming out that want to reward, like Eclipse, right? Eclipse is one such example that is working with Celestia, working with Eigenlayer. They call them out. They're big. It'll be interesting to know, do you need to have Eigen? And will you, for example, need to stake it? Will they just look at how much Eigenlayer points you've gotten? Because I think that is actually more of a criteria that you've supported versus just buying a token, because anyone can do that. Will be interesting to know, and we have to watch and find out. In this case, he's getting a bunch of Eigen, but also, this guy's a G. He got 510, but he's been doing it for way longer. So, definitely something interesting to think about. So yeah, exactly. And Rex, so I'm a citizen, and I'm probably not going to be a citizen much longer, just because, when they did it with Starknet, I was like, you know what? All right, fine, whatever. But like, come on, like really, like the way they handle this, like, these guys aren't for the community. These guys are out for themselves. And like, for me, like, maybe I'm just weird. I can't do it. Like, for me, my morals will always come up in front of it. I just can't do it. I see here, Jabsero said 0.5 ETH for 4 months, got around 10 plus. Read Twitter, some $100 capital got the same like me. Yeah, I don't know how they would have done it. They have not been clear. I don't know if it's linear or whatever. And yeah, and Dre, not a problem. Like I said, I got receipts. I'm willing to put stuff on here. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to do it because I got no problem. A lot of people think, like, guys, maybe I'll make a video sharing all the shills I got or shill offers I've gotten. I won't do it. In fact, there are others on YouTube that, I'm not going to name names, but people have said, oh, they've been willing to do it. Have you? And I'm like, sorry, but it's not a clear fit for me, got no interest in those things. And by the way, guys, if you're watching and you think there's a clear fit, please do reach out to me. I'm willing to do a video. I don't want to do it just because I'm sponsored. I want to do it because I think it will add value and because it's aligned with the things you guys hear me talk about. I don't want to hear something of the opposite, which is, hey, go on here, farm some testnet activity or do whatever. That is not what I would tell you to do. I would not tell you to go to some website and buy some stupid node, which 99.9% are scams. People keep asking me, do not buy these stupid nodes from these projects. They're all trying to get you, right? And it's sort of a game of hot potato. If you get in early, then maybe it's better, and hopefully you just sell to somebody else. whale game. So it shouldn't have been a whale game. Let's just be straight up here. It shouldn't have been a whale game. ETHFi is definitely much better though, so I'm looking forward to it too. Skipping all staking. So give me the loot. I actually disagree with this. This is the best way. I will tell you right now, this is the best way for you to get. This is the best way for you to actually qualify for airdrops in the future, just because this is the best way to sort of get rid of Cybos. Okay, that is sort of my thoughts here. You ever heard of Kusama? No, I have not. Sorry, I don't touch Polkadot, and I won't claim to be a genius or an expert on this. You unstake from Eigenlayer, now the ETH is completely gone. No, if you unstake from Eigenlayer, you have to wait a week. And if you go back to the Eigenlayer website, there will be something that says available to withdraw after. So just go back to where you withdrew it, and it'll tell you the time. I believe it's a week or 2 weeks. I think it's 1 or 2 weeks. You go back there, you check. It'll say available to withdraw on there, and it'll say like the amount, and then you can click the button and you can take it out. So don't worry about that. That's still there, okay? No sweat. If you're ever wondering about that, go to debank.com, debank.com. They're what's built from Rabi, or Rabi Wallet's built off that. It will let you know where all your tokens are at all times, okay? Can you trade Renzo token? Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow you will be able to once the claim goes live. So we'll do that. What's my prediction of the EL price? Well, it's currently $10. I think $7 more accurate, okay? If it's direct with Eigenlayer, 7 days, yeah. Can we trade Res? No, tomorrow. Hello, hey, IR Nobody, how's it going? US citizens, yes, correct. That's anybody in a restricted country with a VPN. But Robinson, watch the video again. I covered how we're going to get around this, and people are working on solutions. And worst case scenario, you got 120 days between May 10th to go on a vacation to any of the other countries that don't have this. So I'll be going to Switzerland and the UK 2 weeks after that. So if I don't have the solution then, I will be claiming mine that way. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. As a reminder, we do have another video following, and we got 2 more days left if you want to join the Patreon and lock it in at the $20 a month price. This is, I guess, like one of your last chances to do so. And I hope, you guys will share in the comments what you think about what's happened with Eigenlayer. Please, guys, be critical. Please, don't just call it a scam. Go out there, make some noise. I'm not saying to like cause a ruckus, but at some point we've got to hold these protocols. Our dollars speak. And if Eigenlayer sees that things are going the opposite way, they're likely going to make a change, or they're more incentivized to make a change, because they don't want their protocol, all the stuff they've worked for, to go down the drain, which is why they shouldn't have done this in the first place. So if you haven't done already, make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, which is an airdrop update coming right up after this. Thanks for watching.